I am back for our second live of the day. Lisa is on her way, hopefully. Hopefully she got packed and she's on her way on her vacation for 3 weeks. That girl deserves it. So for the next couple weeks, it will be just me at 2 o'clock, unless I decide to do a second live at noon too. I've done that before, but I'm just not sure. It's summertime and we'll see how much we have going on. I am going to real quick. I can see that some people are here. I want somebody to make a comment so I can see you guys. And then I'm going to see if I can find us right here because it doesn't show up anymore. Hi, Anita. Hi, Beatrice. It doesn't show up anymore on my phone. It's just weird how I can't ever find it. Hi, Kathy, Acme, Sakaya. Hi, everyone. So happy to have you all here. I am thrilled today because not only are we doing a sneak peek of my brand new ArtFoamies with ArtFoamies stamps with ArtFoamies, also we have KP here. And she is the owner of ArtFoamies, and I'm thrilled that she is with me today. It's going to be so much fun. I want you guys, first, before I bring her in, I want to remind you, like, share, and comment with the hashtag Bella Crafts to be entered for this week's giveaway. When you do a hashtag Bella Crafts, it's easy for us to find those and put them in the randomizer. If you're watching from YouTube, we will go in manually and grab those comments with your name so that you're entered too. The giveaway goes until next Tuesday at midnight, and then we do the announcement the following week. That way, everybody who's watching the replay has an equal chance of winning, and we just think that's fair. We would rather have everybody here with us, obviously, during the live so that we could just share the joy. But we know schedules are hard and it's hard to get everybody on the same schedule, but do the hashtag Bella Crafts and like, share, and comment. And if you share it with people that, because you guys all know people we don't know, and then that just grows the viewership and everybody who is able to come and watch us. Hey, Dorothy, Isabel, everybody, it's so nice to have all of you here. Also, the prize for this week, the giveaway, is a $25 gift card for ArtFoamies. So we are thrilled about that because you can get some of my new stamps. But before I show you anything, I am going to bring KP in here. And there she is.
That was so fast. Wait, I'm going the wrong way.
I know. I always go the wrong way too. Everything's opposite from what we see, which is why sometimes when we're showing things, we're going, oh, no.
I know. I was doing that earlier, trying to show you stuff. I'm like, oh.
I know. It's like.
Nice to see you.
So for those of you that don't know, this is KP. She is the owner of ArtFoamies. She's a fabulous mixed media artist, and she does a Facebook Live every Friday. They're called Friday Fun Day, right?
ArtFoamy Fun Friday.
ArtFoamy Fun Friday. And I'm going to be her guest this coming Friday.
Yes.
So,
don't forget.
Just a lot of us. So, first of all, I want to thank KP for doing another launch with me because they're so exciting. And I have all of mine here that I'll show when I'm on camera because I have them all stacked up, but I'll show, like, this is one of them. So you can see how gigantic they are. They're 6 by 6. They are huge and they are fabulous.
They are. They really, really are. I'm not even just saying it. Well, I mean, I get excited every time. Like I love ArtFoamies.
Well, yeah, they're so fun.
Yes, but I do have to tell you something, and I have to admit to you. Well, I always love your stuff. Like I love your stuff. And I know you're,
my style is different than all her other.
Yes. Well, and you're a much different type of artist than I am, which I love. I don't want all ArtFoamies to be the same,
Right.
But to me, when I see yours, they are a little bit intimidating for me because they're precise. And I don't know if everybody knows. I'm so impressed by this. You have a patent for the stamps that line up perfectly like that, right?
I do.
So, and I am the furthest from anybody who can ever line anything up. So I get into, and so when I see your art foamy, or, you know, they're symmetrical, they're squares, and everything's more precise. And I get a little intimidated, and I think of them as being like more perfect. So I also, you know, and there are, I don't know, they're, because of the types of patterns too, I think I look at them and I feel kind of, I get myself, I get frozen because I'm much more loose and I don't, you do all the things I wish I could do. But anyway, so when I sat down with these, so I was like, oh gosh, I hope I can even do them justice, because I know I can't sew, I can't ever get anything straight, but I love the way they work and the way I use them for me. So this, me saying this is just saying that whatever style that you have, that you are, these stamps are going to fit in your library, because they are such a cool tool.
They don't have to be precise. They are, yes, the pattern, you know, and they're square, because like I do hexagons, squares, rail. I mean, everything just kind of lines up nicely, but you can use them loose in any way you want.
Yes, but in the size, I want to talk a little bit about the size too, because some people, and they'll get them a lot of times and be like, oh, I wasn't expecting them to be so big. Or sometimes, you know, because 6x6, it's a really chunky size. However, because of the way they're broken up, and obviously I'm going to turn the camera, that you are not like, you have so many options with them.
Yeah, because there's maybe one pattern on them or two, and then some might have 3 or 4, you know, depending upon which, you know, if it's,
or the blank, which we should show people, because they're just going to be like, what are they talking
about? Okay, so I'll make myself, I'll put my camera down and KP will still be able to talk. I'm going to show all of the ArtFoamies up close, and then we're going to put KP.
Yes, I want you to go first.
Her camera down so that she can show what she did, and then I'll show you what I did. So it's just kind of like a fun lunch.
Video tag.
It is, but I am actually going to show you something at the end, a very cool thing that I discovered when doing these.
So you can't leave. Everybody has to stay till the very end.
I'm going to show you how to emboss.
I can't wait. I did not know. This is a surprise to me.
I know. I showed it to her right before, and I said, "Oh, I gotta go live."
You did that on purpose.
But you can emboss with these. It's so cool. So okay, first I will. Oh wait, let me change my camera. Of course, I have to change it. There we go. Okay, so I have them all stacked up here, so you can see them all. So this is a 4-patch. And it has the beautiful diamonds. And then, you know, I'm not even sure what.
I'm going to interrupt you just for a quick second. First, we do there. So we're going to, when Anne's talking about it, we have, I believe, 5 of them are called 4 patches.
Yep.
And then 3 of them are pinwheels.
Yes.
Am I correct? Okay. And then we have the stitches. So I believe there's 11 total different, you know, because the stitches are all set.
Yep.
So I think there's 8 actual square pads and then a set of stitches. This one is called, I think, since they're not listed on the site yet, which we will also talk about when they will be available by this evening or by later this afternoon. My daughter is listing them now, but she's not home yet. So as soon as she gets home, she'll list them, and they'll be, you know, available tonight. But I don't have all the names in front of me, but I know this is called the 4-patch, and I believe it's like petals and diamonds.
Petals and diamonds, yes. That's why I think we decided these look like petals. I put a link in to the ArtFoamies site. They're not there yet, but they will be.
Yeah, no, and this evening, or as soon as they are live on the site, I'll send a link to Anne and we'll share it and shout it out everywhere, okay?
Yeah. So isn't that cool? I mean, they are so fun. I'm just going to keep stacking them on top of each other because you can see them really well from this height. And then this one is an R4 patch with the diagonal.
That one's called Leaves and Lines.
And yep, all those pretty little leaves and in there. Okay, so this is petals and solids, or we're not 100% sure what the names are, which is horrible.
No, I think this one, I'm pretty sure, like, at least people when they see them, I think this one's called Petal and Plain. Petals and Plain.
Petals and Plain, because it's a solid, which KP is going to show you a trick on how you can really use, the pattern a couple times. Okay, so this one is like a pinwheel.
Mm-hmm.
So you have got the diamonds, and they're all going around, so they go around. And then
the brocade.
Again, yep. So
a favorite.
And then here, like a buffalo pad and a double wedding ring 4-patch. Just so cool. And what's really cool is, so I know when I had sent KP a lot of designs. We narrowed it down, but we weren't really sure how the buffalo plaid with those little tiny lines, how they were going to stamp, but it worked perfectly. And then this one with the little flowers.
Oh, I love diamonds. That. Yes, that's Diamonds and Daisies.
Yeah. And then the diamonds and the solid, because if you are putting them together, like I will show you how I was able to match them up and create a whole background. This is a background in and of itself for like cards or, paper crafts, but I'm going to show it to you on fabric and how it can be a much bigger solid background. And then we have this one, and it's still a little wet here from when I cleaned it. That's not going to hurt the stamp at all. That's just wet. It will dry normally. And then this is where we started. So I'm going to just slide these right up here. And then we also have a set of 3 stitches. So what's really cool about these is when I did them, it was so that you could come in and do lines if you wanted. But you can also curve these. Like if you're stamping and you are truly mixed media, you can curve these and stamp them this way and just hold down that center right there to get a nice solid. So they can be used for many things. I want to see if I can get that in there. So that is a bunch of dots. So it's lines of dots, which is a fun one. And then the cross stitch, the little X's. So I thought these going up with quilting, but they can be used for anything, and they look like ribbon. So a lot of fun there. Okay, let me see. I'm going to bring KP in. She's going to switch her camera.
Oh, sorry about that.
Well, you don't have to.
Oh, wait, I don't see myself here. Let's see. Oh, there I am.
There you go.
Let's see. Oh,
it takes a minute for us to switch our cameras,
Right. Oh,
look
my
at
gosh.
all that color on her desk.
I'm so excited. So I'll just tell you what I have right here. Well, first, just a little pile of some of the papers that I made the other day using all of Anne's different new designs. I do have, and I don't know if everybody knows what these are, but I do have some scrap buddies. I'm so sorry. Give me just a second. I'm going to go grab a new scrap buddy so I can show it to you real fast. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I will just come back in, or I'll bring us both in. It doesn't want us both to be in. So I have one of her stamp buddies. she has bigger ones. I think she has them in all sizes. But these are really cool because you can add the ink right to them. And they're foam. And they're so cool. I'm going to have KP make one that is 6x6. So it's big enough for, although you can just add color this way too. But I would like a big 6x6 one. So I can add all my color. There, I'll bring KP back in.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. So we also, besides making ArtFoamies, we make this product called Stamp Buddies, which is a rigid piece of plastic, and it has another kind of foam on top. Many of you might already be familiar with these. These are great for lots of different things. I use them all the time, for basically inking up or painting, applying paint to my stamps. Also, you can use them for spreading glue. You can use them as a glue pad. You can use them actually to clean your stamps as well. So they're really just kind of a multi-use tool, artist tool. But we also have a product. From making these, we get a lot of scraps. Okay, so little end pieces, and you can see they're different sizes and even sometimes a little misshapen. But I love these things. I use them all the time. So when you order a pack of Scrap Buddies, again, they might be different sizes or some a little bigger, whatever. Usually you get, I think, 4 or 5 in a package. And then I use them. You can keep them depending on what kind of media, that you're using. But like if it's ink, this will last for pretty much forever. If I keep it in a plastic baggie, I can pull it out and I can re-ink it. I can spritz it. This happens to be a dye ink on here. So if it gets a little, if I need to reactivate it a little bit, I can just take my re-inker and load it up a little bit more, or even spritz it with a little rubbing alcohol. Okay, so here I have 4 Scrap Buddies, and they're loaded up with my Moon Glow dye re-inkers. I a long time ago came out, many moons ago, back when I had Rubber Moon, I came out with these dye neon inks, and I love them. Okay, so I only have 4 colors right now. I'm actually rebranding all my inks, and hopefully we will have them all back in by the end of July for those of you who
nice
like the Moon Glows and the hybrids and stuff. But anyway, so I have these are neon colors. So I have a neon, it's called Starlight Yellow. I have, most of mine are not labeled because I just pulled them out of inventory. So I have this Pink Crush and one called Blue Moon. So you can see them here. And then the yellow and the blue together make this really pretty green. Okay, so let me go ahead and load up a little bit more color on these.
It's so nice how you can just add the color and keep them in a plastic bag.
Yeah, and again, you can reactivate them pretty easily with just a little rubbing alcohol. So I keep a bottle of rubbing alcohol with a sprayer like that and just give them a little spritz. Now that doesn't work with every type of ink, okay? So I don't want to confuse you, but like I wouldn't do that with, I would only do that with dye inks, okay? Not with like pigments or something.
Right.
All right.
But mine even stay wet in the plastic bag if it's paint. That stays wet much longer.
Yes, and also I want you to know I will load up my Scrap Buddies and my Stamp Buddies also with watercolor, or you can also use like Derwent sticks right on here too. Cool. To load them up. You can make your own rainbow. That's the beautiful thing about these. You can make whatever gradients that you like. But if you do use, I will say, if you use acrylic paint, it's going to dry and get crusty. Okay, so you can wash them out. They will stain, but you can wash them. but just know that a lot of times if you use acrylic or gesso, they'll get dry and hard and then they're not really good anymore. So what I have here beside to, for paper wise, I do these papers were made using mostly newsprint because I do love to just print on newsprint. For one, I feel like it's just not precious and you can just go to town. And if you make a mess, it's great, and I like the weight of it. So lots of times I just use my newsprint. These are just some all over patterns, mixing and matching, using some of the some of your stitches. Here, I love this. Now, this is just,
I love that one.
this is just really faded. It's kind of more where I just stamped off,
Yep.
I got a little blobby, and that is ink, but it almost looks like watercolor. But I love this. And keep in mind, put a little acrylic on a gel plate and over stamp this, and you'll get some really fun grungy texture. You can also use these again to pull prints, and you'll have this beautiful background layer. So stuff like this is just fun to make quickly and keep, for when I do want to pull out my gel plate. Then again, and this is just one stamp with a couple of these neon colors. All right. So again, fast, down and dirty pretty much for those. All right.
The newsprint is a nice size too.
Yes. Well, so these papers are 8.5 by 11, right? So you just stamp, and I'm going to show you how fast and easy and just fun, because it is, for those of you too that love like gel printing, this is going to remind you of that, but without all the mess, or without so much cleanup and stuff like that. And again, not dissing gel printing because I love it, but sometimes you just don't necessarily want to pull out your brayer and all your acrylics and stuff like that, or maybe you don't have time. So there could be reasons for that. So this, again, using just one of your 4 squares in a very non-literal way. So I'm going to show you that. And then here, again, this I love just because you can just take one of your 4 squares and make the same pattern, but yet get this little, in between
to connect it. Yep.
It'd be like herringbone almost, Look at that. Just literal stamping at one time. So
pretty.
Then this is the one with the blanks that Anne was talking about with the solids. So that's really fun too. You can go with your crayons, your water soluble crayons, or your Stabilo all pencils, or other stamps or stencils, and you can fill these solids in however you like, and make them very unique and make them your own. Here, a couple of these really got kind of blown out when the ink really spread, but I still think it's so pretty. Again, very literal. So look,
you these the other day. So they didn't take you long at all.
No, oh my gosh, you can do this whole stack of papers, and this again, just a base layer. You can continue to layer up on it however you want, but you have this whole stash ready to go. And I'm going to show you again. Now, she already showed you all the patterns, so I'm just going to pull out a couple here. We'll pull that one, and let's do, I love this one too.
I know we all kind of picked out our favorites.
Well, it is hard. I think it changes. I also love the diamonds, or the leaves.
Yeah.
What else? Isn't this called something else? What is this pattern called? Is it Harlequin, right? Harlequin or something?
Yeah, it can be, yeah.
Or the other thing, I thought this was so cute too. You can make an enclosure, because part of mine kind of didn't print, so I just cut a section off, fold it in half, and get the cutest little enclosure card.
See, and that's like 3 by 3, a good size.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. These, as you can clearly see, already have a little color on them. So I'm going to just go with that, I guess. Let's see. I'll go ahead. I'll take a little of my orange and go over the yellow. It's okay if it has some color on there. I like it when it does that. And again, if you wanted to even reactivate, this had a little bit of the pink on there. So if I wanted to reactivate a little of that, I could spritz it with a little of my alcohol. I'm not going to. Some of it still might show up. I don't know. You can see I'm not doing the best job. And then one thing I will mention, if you see that you have some block paint or ink that is a little bit thicker or more blobby, you might want to take the drier side of your foamy, of your scrap buddy, and sort of, tap it away, or just make sure that your ink is evenly distributed. Otherwise, you will get little blobby areas that, you may not want. So what I have here is just some little 6x6 paper all ready to go. And I won't guarantee that I won't get fingerprints. At least I probably will.
Yeah, that's part of it.
And of course, if you want to get another piece of paper or something to just help facilitate that, I do take my paper to the pad rather than my pad to the paper. It just makes it a little bit easier.
It is easier on your wrist, definitely.
Well, it's easier on your wrist, but also you can, make sure you're getting more even pressure. If you're doing something like this, you can actually even see it will soak through. This paper's, fairly it's not thin, but it's also not thick. And that's how fast and easy that is, right? And so, of course, if you have gradients, or again, let me just do it this way.
I love that you can get so much when you use the stamp buddies.
Yes.
So much.
Yeah. And they last really well. And so I'm going to go ahead and spritz it with a little alcohol. I'm going to try to reactivate some of that. We'll do it again. And of course, if you want to still continue to be working with this pattern, you can clean it off and then reapply different colors. Again, if you want to make more pastels, you can just take your scrap buddy, put a little white ink and go over the top, and it'll turn it to a more pastel-y color. Again, just have fun inking this up however you like. Oops, now I didn't get very good, but you can see that change the colors.
Yeah.
And so I could have, like my pink stripes and then orange flowers, whatever. So the other thing I love, and I'm going to try to clean this up. I wish I would have got an extra clean one. I love this whole idea because it's also like you're not only getting multiple size stamps in one, but you're actually getting more than one pattern, because you can get, all stripes, you can get all flowers, or you can get the combination, right? So let me make sure that's dry. And I want it to be pretty clean. This is probably not going to be perfect because I'm not having time to really clean it as nicely as I would like to.
That's where Dawn Power Wash comes in.
Yes, Dawn Power Wash. And this, again, a little rubbing off. I'm just going to use this to blot.
But that can give you a great print too.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be really sort of, it will spread a lot, but it will be a really fun, color combination.
And like watercolory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I love that.
All right, so now we'll try it with a little blue here. And of course, I'm going to tell you, if you want to be precise and really only ink up that, you could, I'm just telling you, you could mask this off. I'm not really going to be that persnickety about it, but ink there.
Just adding the ink that way, you can just change up your colors so easily.
Yes, and you have a little more control, you know. So that's kind of nice. So now, again, not sure if it's going to be that great for this just because it's still kind of wet and stuff, but you'll get the idea. No, I still have too much ink on there, but that's okay. If this was clean and dry, I'd be getting a better demo. So I'm going to just turn it. Ta-da!
Oh,
That sounds fun,
so
right?
it reminds me of a dress pattern.
Yes, I just love it. It is so, I mean, and you know, like paper quilting, because I don't quilt with the fabric. I wish I did, but so that's just a couple quick ways to use one. You know, you don't have one, and again, you could do it with all stripes, all flowers, or a combination of both. I could also, of course, now so easily go back. That's the other thing I love about ArtFoamies is that I could ink this up in a completely different way and over stamp it and just, you know, get these lovely, luscious layers. All right.
Right.
Again, just, you know, so easily here. If you don't even want to cut it in half, just fold this in half. You could glue it. Glue that together, you know, glue that and then fold it again. And there you have your little enclosure card, right? So, oh my gosh. And I am always, and I'm not kidding, I'm always looking for a small card. And I always at the last minute have to, like, you know, make up a little card. So this I think is so perfect.
That would also be perfect for a little mini journal.
Yes. Or yes, like the little,
because you can put papers on the inside and just staple them in or stitch them in.
yes, like so, right?
Yep. Isn't that cool?
So, yeah, very, very cute. I am in love. Seems like I did have one other thing I wanted to show you, but I can't think of it right this second. So if you want to turn the camera to you.
And you think about it, and I will show them some of the stuff I did.
Oh, yes. Oh, good. Okay, yes.
Okay. So here is one example of, and she mentioned my patent. These are similar to my patent in that you can line them up nicely, but they don't butt up exactly. But see, I created a seamless pattern using just, I would say, one of my favorites because it has that buffalo plaid on there.
I love that too.
And the double wedding ring. So I inked it up with a larger, like a stamp buddy. It wasn't, I think it was about this size. And I just put my inks on there. And I took it very carefully and just placed colors on there, which is where I got the gradient colors. And it just turned out so nice. Even though this area is a bit distressed, it doesn't bother me at all.
No. And you know what's funny is your eye like doesn't really, because I was concerned about that. I mean, all of it will not print perfectly, but your eye fills it in anyway, and it does. It just looks a little distressed. It's really,
you know, you have the little, like I said, the little lines, you can see them. And yeah, some places they're distressed, but having this pattern next to it that is fuller and intact, it, you know, so like when I did this, I stamped and I brought it up and I just very carefully stamped again. You might not get this perfectly. It doesn't matter.
now you can use your stitch.
You can use your stitch.
That's right.
So you can stitch right in there. But this one is probably one of my favorites. And then here's the one that KP was using with the stripes and the leaves. And this one, I didn't get the stitch where I wanted it, so I stitched it 3 times.
Yeah, nice, right?
You know, and you can do that. And you can do the stitches everywhere on here that you want. And then this one was done with what was left over. So like this is right after I put the ink on. And then this is the residual before I added more ink. And I like this one too. So it just depends upon what you're going for, you know. And like KP said, you can overstamp with other things, but this is light enough that you can stamp a sentiment right on here for a card front, and it would look lovely. So this is part of that again, because I was using 18-inch paper and I cut some of it off. So it'd be easier to show you instead of like this. Now, this one is very distressed, but this is with the brocade and the diamonds.
Like, and I want to return that upside. Have you tried stamping them turned upside down? I mean, I know it'll be a little harder probably for lining up though, but
for lining up it would be harder, right? But I think it would still work. But see, this was like my first impression, my second impression, the third and the fourth. So it just kept getting lighter.
Yes, yes. I love that though.
And this one I love. This is with the solid. But I put those colors on there and it turned out so fun. Isn't that fun how that solid, I mean, it just gives it kind of a textured look in there. But I mean, so this would be great if you wanted to create your own scrapbook paper. You know, I mean, there's a lot you can do. And then here, these are like second impressions and stuff. So, which is why they're so much lighter. But still, I think they're still just beautiful.
I hope everybody got to see Lisa's pinwheels too.
Yes. So, like, if people are here that didn't see our live at noon Central Time, it's on our YouTube channel. Lisa did pinwheels with these, and they turned out just beautiful. So, like this one, okay, let me see if you can see that glitter in there. Can you see that sparkle a little bit? Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I stamped this twice, and then I just took and while it was still wet, I just added a tiny bit of glitter. But you can use a sparkle pen. You can use, there's lots of different things you can use to give it sparkle. And then this one again was done, I think this was my first, second, third, and fourth. So you can just see where it kept getting lighter. You could re-ink it every time. So it doesn't have to be like that. But they just turned out so very cool. And then this one is very busy when it's all put together. Like this doesn't look as busy. This looks really busy with those patterns. But I still think it'd be great for so many things. So that's on paper. I also, for those of you that don't know, I do a lot of fabric. So I did this on muslin. So this is natural muslin. So it's kind of a cream color. And I did this one in black, just black.
Oh my God, I love that.
I know. This was like, oh my goodness.
That is my favorite. I love that.
I know. Isn't it beautiful?
Beautiful.
So this is 3 across and 2 rows, which would be great for a pillow. So you could take this, and if you're using fabric paint, sometimes it can be, let me see, it can make it a little stiff depending upon how much paint you use, but you can use fabric ink. Jacquard has a beautiful fabric ink. And it keeps that natural softness. But even if you use paint, it's not like using acrylic paint. Like if you use acrylic paint, it's stiff. So you want to use fabric paint, and then you need to heat set it, put it in the dryer, and then it's good to be washed. But this one, I mean,
is that like, that's, you said like a muslin?
This is just 100% muslin. It's like, I don't know, I buy it by the bolt. So I I'm not even sure. It's just a couple dollars a yard. It's not expensive because it's like a utility fabric. It isn't. It's 100% cotton, but it's not like a designer fabric or anything. So it's cheap. So this is what I like to use to create my own patterns.
Love it.
And
So
just that cream and black, it just made my heart go yes.
yeah, I love it so much.
So I did it here too with a different pattern. I didn't do the last square, but it's just that the black ink. And that is where, like, I love that KP does it this way and puts it down. But for this to line them up, you do need to, stamp one, and then you need to see where you're going. But you can, just rub, and you can use one of those little chucks that Lisa showed you, or you can use like this is my glue thing and just help to
Yes,
give that
that's
pressure.
so cool. Yes, I love that.
And I live in a very, very old house. My house was built in the 1800s, and we changed out some doors, and I had crystal doorknobs. So I have some of those, and I want my son to make me one of those chucks with that doorknob.
Oh, that's awesome.
But okay, so there's that one. And then I love black fabric with iridescent. So
Oh, that looks awesome.
I did all of this. So this is that same print that looks super busy with all of those colors, right? Because I have like 3 colors in here, and it just makes it, but when you do it in a solid, it doesn't look as busy. And this is 3 across and 3 down. So this is 18 by 18, which is perfect for like a 16-inch pillow.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Isn't that pretty? And then I have, okay, so here is just, I did some separately on black fabric, which these would be cute pot holders. These would be cute journal covers. These are Royal Talon pearls. Yes, they are, Karen. Good eye.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask if they were like interference. Yeah, beautiful. Look at that.
Isn't that, I mean, just so much fun and so easy. Okay, so this one is, okay, so I did this row, and I did this one, and I thought, okay, so I did 2 colors. I did 2 colors. I wasn't really happy with it, so I just wanted to use up more of the fabric. So I tried it with the solids, and this is a little distressed in here, but it doesn't even matter. I mean, it still looks absolutely lovely. Isabel, I used Royal Talons, metallics, and pearls on this, which just makes it pop. So I did those, and then last night I was still up playing, and I did this. So let me see. So I did this, and this is with like the monkey ink. It's kind of a gel, and this you can't even feel it, but it has some glitter in it. So like, can you see that glitter? You can see little specks of glitter.
Mm-hmm.
It got a little heavy right there because it's a gel. It's not a paint, so it kind of goes up more. Okay, so like this one is where I didn't really put it on the solid. I just wanted to see what kind of look I'd get, and it is more distressed. And then this one I filled it in more. But just playing with these. There's so many possibilities that you can do with these. And this is just a white cotton fabric. I do like cotton when I'm doing this, just because it holds up nicely, it quilts nicely, and all of that. KP, do you have another one?
Yeah, I wanted to show the one with the blank.
Okay, so I'm going to switch over to KP, and then I'm marking some of your questions. I know people are asking questions. I'm just marking them, and then at the end, I will answer them. I just happened to catch Isabel's.
Sorry, my my hands are really bad. I do want to let you all know that the stamps are now listed at artfoamies.com, and we do have a surprise. We are running we don't normally do this, okay? We don't usually run specials whenever we have a new launch, okay? But we are running a special right now, 20% off at artfoamies.com. It's only going to be through Friday, and then the special will be ending, okay? And this is a sneak peek, and launch is not official until Friday, okay? But we wanted to make it kind of special for you here today, to see the sneak peek and to be able to be the first people to get your hands on them, and also to take advantage of that sale. And Maxie just messaged me and she said they are available now. All right.
There, I put a link in too.
Thank you so much. So here again, I did clean this off. It does still have a little bit of blue. You can see it's not cleaned off perfectly. Most of the blue ended up on my hands and fingers, but I did wipe it a little bit. But now I'm gonna re-wet it just a bit again with my spray bottle of water. Okay, don't get it confused. Sometimes I use alcohol, sometimes I use water. If I'm using water soluble stuff, I want water. If I'm using like dye inks, I'm using alcohol. All right. So now I switched to water. I have my water soluble crayons. I have some Derwent ink tint sticks and some Neocolor 2s. Okay. So you can use a little both. I am going to go ahead and fill in again with a little bit of my blue dye ink here. It's not going to hurt anything. I always tell my patrons, they don't call it mixed media for nothing.
That's true.
So I'm going to get that on there. Can spritz that with a little water too, and fill in with my crayon a little bit, get some different gradients of color. And we're just going to be smushy, okay? And you can see that right on there. So just go in and make a mess. And then we'll go over here, all right? And I'm not going to do it exact, but I kind of maybe, want to mimic maybe her leaves or her flowers or whatever. So I don't know. I'm just going to try to put a pattern on here that would be acceptable. And, obviously if you're doing this at home, or if I'm here in my studio, quietly playing around by myself, not necessarily demonstrating, then I might take more time, but
Not on the live, yes.
right? Just fast and furious, whatever. And you can go in with different colors, like I said, and just kind of do your own thing. Maybe we'll put some of this over here too. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to show up. It is, I will tell you, sort of, for those of you who also enjoy doing jelly plates, it's kind of like that. You don't always, sometimes you'll think, oh my gosh, this is going to be so cool. And then, you do pull your print and you're like so disappointed. Or sometimes you think, I made a mess. This is going to be horrible. And then you pull your print and it's like, wow, it's fabulous. So, you just kind of go with the flow. Yeah. Don't have your expectations too terribly high, whatever. But again, just being kind of quick so you can get the idea without being held hostage for 20 hours.
Yes, that would take me that long.
I'm not doing as nice of petals as Anne did, but you can get the idea. And you can do this with paint too. Don't be afraid to experiment. You can, if you do it with like acrylic paint, you do want to work kind of quickly, because then it can dry. With this, it can dry too, but you have, you can spritz it again. And I'm not probably going to like those light spots being so stark like that. So I'm just trying to mush them in a little bit again. And honestly, this is going to end up being kind of a mess. It's not going to be cute petals like Anne's, but you'll get the concept. All right. So we're going to do this with this, again, pre-cut 6x6 paper.
You just need a big stack of that paper nearby.
Yeah, usually I do have it. Ooh, well, no, I did kind of make it a
Oh, but I love it.
And I would go back over. I mean, these are I only ever call them base layers because then you can go back over now and use your, stencils or, your stabilos. I love my stabilos, and I could go in and make more value and pop those areas out a little bit better. But, the nice thing is too, is if I want to, like, I feel like that could use some definition between. So maybe I just want to do something like this.
Yeah, you just have to keep playing. That's the most important thing.
And sometimes it gets better, and sometimes it just, oh yeah, see, I like that. I like the way that. So yeah, so I was going to say sometimes it gets better, and sometimes you just make a horrific mess. But either way, you had fun, right? I would like to, the thing that's cool, you could clean this all the way off. Say you just make a bunch of papers, clean this off, and then do it like a solid, like a light yellow, and then go back and overstamp again. So I'm just repeating myself, but it is one of the things that I love about ArtFoamies is that opportunity to go and relayer again and again and again. So definitely use those blanks to draw on, to use your other stamps on. And, you could even do something. Since she has the 2 with that pattern, if you wanted to, you could stamp right on there.
Oh, yeah.
And pull it that way. So. And then here's something I just did while you were working, and look, stamp it on a round paper and it completely changes the look. And that's with watercolor, so it did wash out a little bit, but look how cute that is.
So cool.
Oh my goodness, I can stay here all day and do this.
I know, right?
So yes, I told you all that they're listed now. I told you about the sale. Anything else? I feel like I'm forgetting something, but
somebody asked, they're sold separately, not as a set. That is correct.
Yes, except for the stitches are a set.
Stitches, yep. Okay, so I'm going to show something else, which is like, oh my gosh, you guys.
Yes, I'm so excited for this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll explain how this all came about, but okay, so like if you look at this, you can see it's the diamonds and the petals. You can see that in there, so it's embossed.
Yeah.
This birthday card. And this one you can see it better because that's white. This is with a little bit of color, and this is the buffalo plaid and the double wedding ring.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Get to it, lady.
That cool? Okay, so I'm going to grab a mat. And, okay, so I'm just going to use this one. And I'll do purple. So this is just crafting, right? I mean, it can be if you're doing crafting or paint. Let me make sure that maybe I won't use the purple. These are very old craftings I have right here.
So when you say that, do you mean like pigment? Like pigment ink?
This is pigment.
Okay.
I like to use when I'm testing. I like to use up a lot of the older stuff that I have. So I am just adding the ink directly to the pad, right? Or to the stamp. And it doesn't have to be perfect for the end result. But like before I knew this, of course, I wanted ink everywhere because I'm going to stamp this, right? And I didn't even bring, I don't have a piece of paper. So I'm just going to use this journal, and I'm going to do it the way KP did it. And I'm just going to stamp, right? And inside this book, it's where I keep a lot of patterns or things that I'm working on. But I thought it was good to just put some of these stamps. Okay, so what happened? Okay, like I use baby wipes all the time. I mean, anybody that follows me knows I love my baby wipes and I love my paper towels. So I started cleaning my stamp, right? And I was using a teal, and this is what I came up with, you know, I mean, as I was taking the ink off. And then I took a baby wipe and just put it on there. And then I got this beautiful pattern. And I thought, wait a minute. So what I did was I sprayed it with just water. This is just water. And then I took, okay, so like this is paper towels in pick a size, right? And I took and I didn't, okay, so this is the outside of the paper towel where it has the quilting. This is the inside where it's more muted or, you know, not a defined pattern. And I'm going to rip that because that's what I want. I'm just going to use 2 layers. And I took the back side and I put it on top of this. And so I'm doing 2 things. I'm getting the ink off, right? But then I took some more water and sprayed a little bit more so I could really get into those crevices of these beautiful designs. And then I took another paper towel and pressed. So I'm kind of cleaning my stamp and kind of not. If you really want it clean, you use Dawn Power Wash, which I did. I did this same thing with Dawn Power Wash, but it makes the paper towel, it has a smell to it. The thing, you can pull this off and look at that.
Oh my
Beautiful embossed.
Ah, that's awesome.
Is that not beautiful? So this is, you're not done because you can still do a little bit more because you can go more faded. So you're using all this ink you're trying to get off anyhow, but you're coming up with this beautiful embossed pattern. Now you do have to let this dry completely, right? I mean, you can't use it in that wet state. But if this, like all the water didn't come through those 2 layers, so I just add just a little bit more. And press. And I'm going to do 1 more paper towel on it. And pull it. And it just makes it fainter.
Oh, gosh.
You know?
It's such a nice raised design.
Isn't it beautiful? So I had to, you know, I had to let these dry completely, right? And I gotta move these 2 out of my way. And okay, so I played and played and played, people. I mean, okay, so this is completely dry. You won't be gluing all the layers onto your card base, right? Because they're going to come apart. But you can take this top layer off. It still stays raised on This one, I used a tape runner, so it flattened a little bit. On this one, I just used wet glue. So
Nice. God, it's beautiful. I'm so
I
like,
didn't flatten it at all, and it will stay raised like that. Isn't that beautiful? Well, this is the back of that layer. It's still pretty. You don't even have to have ink on these. You can just spray these and do these, which I'll show you. Of course I did. This is the third layer. So you might not use that third layer, but you can use it again on another stamp because once it gets all wet, I'm sure, well, I know all of that raised embossing will come out. So, okay, that's that. I did a lot of that pattern, right? Okay, so here, what I did instead of spraying with water, I sprayed with a spritz, like the spritz sprays that a lot of the companies have. I sprayed that, and that's how I got those beautiful colors. And you can see, look at that beautiful embossing. It's just so beautiful. So this is the first layer. I haven't taken this one apart yet. So this is the first layer because it was the spray that I was using. It came through more on the paper towels. And then this would be the last layer. So it's way more subtle. But these are just so pretty. This one wasn't going to show you because it had that big glob of blue. But I was hoping that the second layer would look prettier. That one I love.
mm-hmm.
You know, so okay. It even works with the solids.
Love that. Oh my
And that's the second one. I don't think I'd use that, but you might use parts of it. Here it is with the stripes. And okay, so so then I wanted to try it with a napkin. A napkin, I don't think it turned out as nice as it does with the paper towel. This one was just done on a plain stamp. So you could see no color and it's still beautiful. So then that's what this one is too. Isn't that stunning? I mean, and it's totally dry. You might be able to use both layers if you put the wet glue on and it seeped up through, but I just used the one layer. And see, you still have a nice raised one with that. And it's funny how this one is with the power wash because I can smell it and it's stiffer. So the power wash made it stiffer, and it's just beautiful. So after I did it on paper towels and napkin, I thought, let me try it on a print napkin. So this is part of a print napkin. And it's thinner, so it's not as thick as the paper towel, but you can still see the embossing. And then this is done on tissue paper. This is just one layer of tissue paper.
Ooh, I love that.
Right? I mean,
that is so pretty.
When you put this down, color is going to come up through it if you have color in your background.
But also, I wonder, Anne, if you took just the softest, like pan pastel, you know,
right,
on like a very soft sponge and just kind of barely
over
to the top, it would just grab,
Wouldn't that be pretty?
Mm.
So this is red tissue paper. And okay, so this one, that's tissue paper. Okay, so this one is tissue paper, right? I already pulled it apart, which is why you can't see it very well because I pulled it apart and it's a heavier tissue paper. But when I pulled this tissue paper off, it left this color on the paper towel. So like this tissue paper kind of bled through
Wow, that's
and
crazy.
it gave it that nice soft color, and that's still beautiful. So like just a happy accident, and I love it. And I mean, no, you don't want to get these wet, but you don't want to get paper wet either.
Right,
You
right.
know, and it's just so pretty. And then what I did was I just added ribbon, and I used some of I have some sentiments on my website that you can buy pre-cut and dyed, and I just added those. So quick and easy, but yet so beautiful.
Oh, I love it, Anne. That is so, so cool.
So are you playing over there?
Yeah, I was experimenting with what you were doing. Just I wanted to try it on on that thin
Okay,
paper.
so I added you there.
So I was trying. I had a bunch of dye ink on here as you were doing it, and
Yep.
of that same orangey yellow ink, and a little bit of obviously the pink. And then I just really got it wet. I put that paper. This is. I'll show you what I was using. It's just. It's kind of like a scratch pad. Like it's nice paper, but it is really just a little writing tablet. But I
Right.
like the paper because it's 6 by 6, but it's just text weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see if that could work. And honestly, it did a little. Like you can't really see it though because
So
of the color, but that thin paper it did emboss it.
it's not the deep embossing. It's like this one over here. So like this is mulberry paper because I got so excited. I was like, I need to try everything.
Yeah.
So this is mulberry paper, and you can see it from my camera. You can see it embossed, but not as well as the paper towel because the
Yeah.
paper towel gives a little bit more.
Hmm.
Yeah. So but this is just another way you guys can do this. You can use these stamp. I mean, I believe stamps and dies, everything you purchase, you should be able to find as many ways as you can to use them.
Yes,
Um,
I agree, and that's what I love about finding just different way, and that's one reason too. I don't even really all the time like to use the images super literal. I mean, I like to switch it up.
right.
So now you got me thinking about all this stuff. I got this. What's this paper called? I'll show it to you.
Okay, I'm gonna just have you big
It's
there.
this paper roll. It's Yasutomo, and I
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
It's like that. It's on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
Try it just because now you got me so excited.
I know the possibilities.
I think I can go this way. But we'll just I'm so excited now by this. I hope I gotta go through everything in my studio, and I don't know though, that might be a little too thin. So
Well, it might be more like the tissue paper.
yeah.
Well, I
Which
would take and put a paper towel or another piece of that on top of it to squish it in even more. I think when I kept adding the layers of paper towel, it just kind of squished in more.
yeah, right. It's kind of settling down into all the crevices,
Mhm.
right?
But yeah, isn't that cool? And you could do
Yeah.
that with any of the ArtFoamies stamps that have a nice pattern in them, a
Well,
defined.
I wonder if you could do it with like a thin, really thin fabric, and then use something to harden the fabric.
You could do it. Okay, so yes, that would be a good idea, like with fabric, and then you would use I gotta look, it's in my drawer. I can't think of what it's called. It's
Like this fabric stiffener or something, right?
um, Beacon Adhesive has a fabric stiffener. I think it's called Stiffy,
Yeah.
and it's like a water. I mean, it's not. Some fabric stiffeners are creamy white and they dry clear, but that one is more watered down, and that
We
would
have to
work
try
quite nicely. I'll have
because
to
I'm
try.
thinking also just my brain is going a million miles a minute now. This even, so like this very thin paper, you know, if you get it to emboss kind of, you know, with some texture on there and then let it dry, it's still going to be very thin. You could actually then use like some kind of varnish or
Yes.
matte medium or something for those thinner papers too. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, so many possibilities.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. What a fun and awesome technique.
See, I just love techniques. I mean, that is my jam. And, you know, when you, like that was a happy accident because I was just cleaning my stamp.
Yes, I love it.
And when I saw it, it was like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to show.
So I don't know if you can see that or not. It does. No, you
I
can't
can
really.
see it a little bit. Yeah.
Mhm. But I would have to, obviously, I think the best thing to do if you get a paper that, or, you know, whatever that you, even with the paper towels, well, the paper towels seem like it holds up pretty well, right?
Oh, yeah. It holds up very well. And in the end, I had 3 layers, and the first and second layer are both good to go.
Yeah, because this is, it's too soft. I mean, once it dries, it just pretty much loses its shape. So I think that is
Yeah, but the paper towel, it just, because it has fibers in there.
yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Super.
thinking
Oh my gosh. Well,
it's
I know what I'm going to be doing.
there are some comments I'm going to go through while you switch your camera
Yes.
to um, face view. And let me see. So comments. Okay. Thank you, Dorothy. Just said I was innovative and creative. Zakia, yes, I've been waiting for this extended video. Very clever to design your own fabric.
Yeah,
Yes.
super great for
So
fabric.
much fun. Rebecca, the pinmo pattern is so cool. Thank you. Isabel, KP, I was going to ask if you had used a gel plate to create some of your prints. You didn't on these ones, did you?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
See?
what? I'm going to turn the camera while you're doing that. Can I turn my camera back around? I just want to do one big piece of paper, just really quick. So
You're on camera, so they
Now,
can see what you're doing while I go through the questions.
fast. We'll just, I'm going to stick with this one for now, since it's what I have. Does not matter. Let's see what colors. Let's use.
Dorothy asked how big are the stamp squares that make up the 4 smaller ones. So they would be 3 inches because it's a 6 by 6. So the one that KP is working on right now, each of those squares would be 3 inches.
Yeah, 3 by 3, 3 by 3.
Yep.
Which is, like I said, great for when you want to do. I did not mention this, but if you want to do little like mats, you know, for your greeting cards and stuff. Oh my gosh, if you stamp this 4 times or stamp this once, cut it into 4 sections, you have 4 mats for your greeting cards.
Yeah, perfect. Beatrice, idea, you can run it through a big shot. That might come out cool. Beatrice, I'd have to go back and look through where you said that because I'm not sure. Run it through a big shot. To die cut, you can die cut them if that's what you're asking. Yes, die cut the prints.
So I'm just going to use some. I wanted to use my my Yasutomo sketch paper, but for some, oh, there it is. Okay. So I love this for gel plate and for this technique. It's a nice, really bright white paper. It has a very nice texture to it. The front is, or the, you know, the part that you want to print on is smooth, and the back is a little bit fibrous, which I really enjoy. But again, it's a really nice bright white paper. It takes a lot of medium, surprisingly, and I do love it also for collaging because of the texture. So here, I'm just going to start in the corner, but you can be random, and I'm going to do it that way. Okay, and then just start. The thing I love about it is just you can spritz it again if you want it to be pretty much as vivid on the second press as you did on the first. That's great. And I'm not trying to get the whole thing. I want it to be sort of distressed and sort of all over. So, and the nice thing, I can hold it like this and then just turn it over and see right where I need it to go.
Yeah.
I don't care really if it overlaps a little bit, or I turn it and twist it so that, you know, and then I'm not pressing on this top part. I'm only pressing on the bald spots, right? And then here I just want to get the edges. So I'm just going to rub my finger that way. And here's another little bald spot. Maybe I want to cover that. And the nice thing is, if you do want to go back in with your trim, you know, with your stitches, you can, or you can also, what I like to do is pull another leaves and lines, and we'll just load that up with a little, we'll do a little green on this one. And again, I'm not inking it up very carefully. I'm being kind of slow, or, you know, being kind of messy, because I don't care if it's. And then I just look at my paper again and go, okay, where do I need some other little, maybe I just want a little bit of those diagonal lines, like right there. So I'm just going to press that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe right here. Right here, maybe a little more. So isn't that so fun? Oh my gosh, I can, again, do this all day. Makes me feel like I'm accomplishing a lot, and
so easy,
a lot done, but I'm really not, but it's still fun. And I will use all these papers in my journal, or, you know, for those of you who like to make like the little zines, this, you could just cut this up and make a little zine, and, you know, have, I don't even know how many of these pieces of paper you could make in, say, 20 minutes, right?
Great.
So there you have it. Loads of fun and makeys.
So much fun.
I have to turn my camera back on now.
Okay. So, okay, Heather, when will they be available? They're available now. I put a link in here, and KP is offering 20% off, which isn't normal for a new release. But she has a sale going on right now, and these will be 20% off until Friday.
Until Friday, yeah. Through Friday at midnight Central.
Okay. And Dorothy asked, what about the white muslin? What media did you use? On the white, I used dye-based or pigment-based inks. So pigment-based inks on the white, and I used the Royal Talons pearls on the black fabric.
I will tell you one thing that's really great is if you do want to use your acrylic paint, you can get the GAC 900 from Golden and mix it, and that way any acrylic paint will become soft fabric paint.
To the touch, yes.
Yeah.
And you still just heat set it like normal. Zakia, I love this so much. I love all of these art foamies, definitely both in my crafts paper and fabric. And can I use tulip fabric paint? Yes, you can. You would want to like put it on your craft sheet and then use a brush to paint it on, or use one of the craft buddies to put it on. And you don't want to put it directly on the stamp, because it would be very thick, and then you'd have to paint it, and then it'd go into the crevices. You don't want any of that. You don't want any of that happening. But yes, tulip.
Or you could take your tulip paint and put it on the scrap buddy, or you can also gel plate is great. Yes. You can spread it out on there and then stamp onto your gel plate.
Yeah. What ink did I use on my fabric? Okay, so I used pigment ink or fabric paint. KP, and I was just browsing through the stamps. It's great that I can get them posted to the UK. Yes, Isabel. That is, you know, all companies don't send to the UK, so that is nice. Dorothy said that the pattern you were making on the solid reminds her of a hydrangea.
Oh, yes. So, yes. And your pattern kind of reminds me of hydrangea.
Yeah, well, those are pretty.
Mhm.
Colorcraft has a relief paste which is flexible when it's dried and it can be peeled off. That might be amazing with the designs of your stamps. Yes, Isabel.
Yes. I don't know. Like, I don't
Try that.
know if it would peel off the foam. On rubber, I'm sure it would work.
Yeah, on the foam. Yeah, oh, yeah. We won't want to rip it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you tell me what it is again, I'd like to maybe write it down and I could experiment with that. What is
It was by Colorcraft. It's called Relief Paste. So we'll let you know, Isabel, because KP will try.
Yeah, I'll try to track some of it down. Color craft. Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. KP, is the 20% discount automatic or is there a code?
No, there is a code, and the code is, thanks for asking, because I'm sure that would have been so fun. The code is Soul Surprise, SOL, as in summer solstice.
Is it capital or
capital? All capital. Soul
SOL.
Surprise. Soul Surprise. SOLSURPRISE.
Okay, so I put the code in here for you, Isabel, and for everybody else. So,
thank you so much.
That's in there. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing. The sandwich, you sandwich the cosmos between the plates and press it down. What?
Oh. Put them between two plates and press it down? Is that what somebody's saying? That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Can't wait to make my own fabrics to use for quilting. Yes, this will be so much fun.
Oh, I wish I would have bought the pillow that you made me and showed it. It's in my house. I literally have it on my chair in my living room.
Yeah. Well, and I have a different pillow there that was made with my actual my stamps instead of ArtFoamies. But yes.
Oh, you can show that. But what was I going to ask you? Something else now, and I can't remember. Darn it.
This one was actually made by my girlfriend Rebecca Meyer. So,
oh, that is so cute.
Isn't that beautiful? So this was made with pigment inks.
Very cute.
And then it was made with my my stamps that I have a patent on, so that it is a seamless pattern.
That's beautiful. Now,
but I made a P1 with some of my hexagons.
Who makes your stamp? Like, where are your stamps at?
Unity Stamp Company.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. I can't think of what. Oh, see, I'm going the wrong way.
I know.
Now I can't remember, but if I think of it, I'll message you.
Patty said, I have some black napkins. Wonder if the technique would work with gold leftover ink. I would try it.
Yes. Try it on black paper do like a little square black paper.
Well, but if she wants to do the embossed.
Oh.
I would try, because my napkins worked. They weren't as thick as my, so this is a napkin. So it's just not as defined as the paper towel, but still beautiful.
I like it I thought it looked good on the tissue too.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a easy, cool technique. But even like I said, if you wanted it just plain, just spray your stamp down with ink and put the paper towels on. But I really think having the just that little bit of color really defines those patterns.
I am dying to try it and then just kind of rub a little pastel too to see what catches,
I know. So we'll have to play some more before we go live Friday and Monday.
Fun Friday. So yes, I wanted to just make sure and we'll share, of course, but I hope everybody will join us over on ArtFoamies YouTube at 4 p.m. Central for ArtFoamie Fun Friday. And then hopefully we'll have some new different stuff too by then. I'll have all this embossed stuff.
I know, right? Well, I'll have to try on fabric with my fabric stiffener.
Yes, let me know.
I'll try that because I do have.
'Cause I don't have any of that.
I have that. So yeah, I'll try that. Don't want to mess up the ArtFoamies. No, fabric paint won't mess it up. I mean, if you want them clean, like I said, use Dawn Power Wash.
Yeah, nothing really will mess up your ArtFoamies unless you let paint. And I mean, when I say paint, I mean any type of a paint, acrylic generally, anything that's going to dry and be hard and crusty. Okay, if you leave ink on them, like it'll, it might stain, or you might have an issue when you go to stamp a different color, but it's not going to hurt them. Okay, and same with watercolor. It won't hurt them. I leave mine with ink and paint all the time, just not acrylic.
Okay, so I grabbed one of my hexagons from my drawer over there. So this I haven't used power wash on.
And is that acrylic or not?
This would have been fabric paint.
Okay. Is it hard or crusty?
It is a little, but the stamp still works totally fine.
Okay, so sometimes if it does get crusty, dry with acrylic, then it will still stamp, but it won't stamp well. Like it won't, because part of what's giving you the detail is the softness of the foam. But that being said, like you can still get a stamping out of it. It might be a little more crude or whatever, but like I will tell you, Julie Balzer, she doesn't advocate for even cleaning her stamps. And I always tell her, Julie, no, don't tell people not to clean your stamp, because it just makes them not as
very cool.
Yeah. And they also, like, it won't work very nicely with watercolor and stuff anymore if you let it get crusty. But that being said, I have cleaned them even after they've gotten crusty with the Dawn Power Wash, or if it's really bad, I will use a little bit of Murphy's oil soap. But try to not let them get crusty.
I mean, a lot of my stamps, they have color, but a lot of it is fabric ink or dye ink, or it's I always wash them off. I just haven't taken the power wash to it, or but I always wash them.
And and I'll say this too, just because people always like some of the basics to be repeated. If you're working and you are in a flow and you don't want to stop and clean them, just get like a pan, a shallow pan with a little bit of water, and put them face down. Just keep them wet until you can wash them.
Yep.
And then of course they're foam, so you don't want to scrub them with something real hard. They will rip or and they won't be good. But they're surprisingly durable and long lasting for there. And I will just show you, this is completely off the subject, but if you ever let your ArtFoamie get really dry and crusty, still don't throw it away, because you can still make something with it. This is an ArtFoamie. I let it get dry and crusty, and then I made it into
so cute. Yeah,
but don't throw them
away. Don't throw them. Thanks, I'm glad I asked because of acrylic paint. Acrylic paint. But she said you can get the GAC 900 from
Golden. It looks just like I have.
Patty says she puts her ArtFoamies face down on wipes while working, and it works great. Yep. I always have baby wipes, and I keep them handy, and I use them for all sorts of cleaning. But another trick, so we're sharing all the tricks. So we're sharing all the tricks. So like this is the tie-dye kind of one that I showed you where I was wiping the ink off. So like lots of times I dry these, sometimes in my room is huge. I have got little wet wipes all over, because you can die cut these and you can make flowers.
So don't throw anything.
You can use, I do throw, if they're really ugly, but if they're pretty, sometimes I'm like, ooh, but you can make flowers, you can do all sorts of things. So,
We need all the scraps.
great uses. Yes. Yes. Just, all the things. But I want to announce last week's winner. Last week, we were giving away a free ebook. So, the winner, she was here. Let me see if she's still here. Okay. Brenda Sawyer, you won a one of our ebooks. You can just send me a message with the one that you want, and I will get that right out to you. And then remember, for this live, like, share, and comment with hashtag Bella Crafts. And also, if you're watching Lisa's, and if you're on YouTube, we grab anytime you put hashtag Bella Crafts, because you can enter more than once. And it goes into our randomizer. And then we'll announce the winner next week during our live.
And then we'll have a giveaway on our live. We'll do it right on the live on Friday. So come for that too, and have some more fun.
Yes.
Win something,
You read my mind about the baby wipes and fluff. So you can do it with baby wipes and paper towels, because I have paper towels in here too. I'm messy.
You have like strings hanging with all the things trying.
Well, I like to keep things clean, so I have those things. I mean, I buy baby wipes like 3 packages at a time.
Yeah, I get them. I usually order them from Costco and just have a big case, because aside from all the fun stuff you can make, you got to wipe your fingers sometimes.
Yes, you do. So thank you all for joining us and staying extra long.
Yes, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I know, 'cause I was like,
so much fun. And I know Lisa's not here, but I want to remind everybody to take some time to craft, because it's good for your soul. And we do believe that. Lisa is living proof of that. So I will try and go through the comments and answer questions we may have missed. And until then, next week, it will just be me. Lisa might join me because we're doing an interview, but it will be at 2:00. We won't have a noon live, because we always do an interview on the 4th Wednesday of the month, and then we only do one live that day. So until then, we will see you all Friday. Yeah, Friday fun day. And thank you all for coming. So
I want to say thank you. Thanks for having me. It was so fun.